Welcome back, and today is for the brides of 2025 and 2026. Wedding planning can be stressful and it can be hard, and as much as you want your day to be the best day ever, and it will be, there will be a lot of things that could happen, and I wanted to share some of those things today. Today, I am going to be sharing some of the things that went wrong during the wedding planning process as well as my wedding day, but how my day still turned out to be the best day ever. I think mindset will play a huge role in having a team of support around you. All these things did happen during the wedding planning process as well as on my wedding day, but I did not let that ruin my wedding day. I still just continue to have a positive mindset on the actual day. And my bridesmaids helped to make sure that I was always happy and that I did not feed into the negative stuff that were going on and just sitting there and sulking in all the things that went wrong. The purpose of this video is to show that things could go wrong on the biggest day of your life, and that's okay. It will all work out. Do not let it get to you. I really want all my brides to have a great day, and just to showcase that the wedding day may not be the most perfect day of your life, but do not let that get to you. Please just look at all the good things that are happening. This is about you and your spouse, and you should really just enjoy this day. So jumping right in to all the things that went wrong but did not ruin my day. First thing is, during the wedding planning process, I had a very hard time finding a makeup artist. I went through a few and either was scammed, did not actually receive my service, or I had the service done and it was the worst makeup I've seen in my life. And so in turns, I just ended up doing my makeup myself on my wedding day and made a big celebration out of it, and just had a girls' day where my bridesmaids and I sat down in the morning. We all did our makeup together. And in turn, I actually enjoyed that process a lot more. I feel like it was more fun for us to come together and do something all at the same time, in the same space, have some music on. It really was fun. So I think that worked out in my favor. As much as I wanted to not have to worry about my makeup the day of my wedding, it actually turned out to be a good thing because I got some time bonding with my girls. Second thing, because we had people in our wedding party that were coming from out of state, and life was just lifing, people were not able to make it to the rehearsal the day before the wedding, which is when we went through the walk down, the timeline, what was going to happen. And as much as that sucks because you don't want people to be confused on the wedding day, it happens. It was an easy fix. Our wedding coordinator was able to just meet up with those folks the day of the wedding, as long as they came early enough, and kind of quickly walk them through what they needed to do. So it wasn't a big deal, but it is something to keep in mind. I feel like brides are always under a lot of stress and pressure to make everything perfect. Things will not always go as you plan. Just know that it will still work out. I had a whole set timeline on what my day was going to look like from beginning to end. And most brides do. You know what time you're going to get up, when you're going to start doing your makeup, etc. Needless to say, I still end up running late. I ran behind, I believe, almost by 30 minutes or 30 to 40 minutes. Which was a huge deal to me in the moment. I kept kicking myself for this because I said I would not do that. I would not run late. In the moment, I was problem solving as we went. I told hubby to just hold off on going to the venue and to stay put at their hotel so that we wouldn't cross paths since we were doing the first look. I did have plans to take pictures before my ceremony. That had to go out the window, and we had to pivot to taking pictures during the happy hour, which was fine. It all ended up working out in the end. I still was able to do my first look. I still made everything work, even though I was running late. So that's another thing I want to share with brides. Please do not stress. This day is about you. If you're a little late, maybe by 30 minutes to an hour, no big deal. You can always pivot around how you want the day to run. And that's what your wedding coordinator will do. That's what they're there to help you with, is kind of figure out where we can adjust time. And this is why they will always have buffer time after everything that you do, just to make sure that if you were to run late in a different area, it will all work out. No one knew that I was running late. None of my guests knew that I was running late because the way I set it up was that guests weren't supposed to arrive until a certain time. So even though I was running late, they had no idea I was running late because guests were not there yet. So as far as everyone knows, until they see this video, I was on time. Something that I did not realize until after my wedding was that I had planned for my videographer to capture my first look with my bridesmaids. So I would have a video for that, and it would be a part of my video montage. That did not happen, and I did not realize that until I got back my video footage from the videographer. I realized that he was not there. And it kind of just made sense in the moment, where I kind of just thought about the fact that I didn't see the videographer in the room, but it didn't click the day of because I was so wrapped up in the moment. But looking back in hindsight, I did realize that he was not there, and it's fine. It was not a huge deal. I did get beautiful pictures of my first look with my bridesmaids. So it did not matter that I didn't get video footage. I did get video footage of the most important first look of that day, which was with me and my husband. And so that's all that matters. I didn't let it bother me. Things like this will happen just because you have so much going on. I was running late, so I don't even know if he was aware that I made it there. Because I was running late, he probably was doing B-roll outside because he thought that I would take a little longer. And my photographer was waiting for me outside when I arrived. My videographer was not there, so he probably didn't even know I was there. And then one thing led to the next, and we did the first look. It's fine. Life happens. We move on. I gave my husband the task of bringing the tip money for all of our vendors, and he still forgot it. The day of, it just was one of those moments of like, damn, like I really wanted to make sure that everyone got tipped. It did get under my skin the day of, just because I wanted everything to be perfect. So it was one of those things that, like, I was already running late. Things were just not going the way they should. And so naturally it was like the last straw that kind of just like made me a little irritated. But in hindsight, and even the day of, it wasn't a big deal. We were able to tip everybody the next day. But just know that things like this will happen. The little things that you think, we got this, can go wrong. Like even something as small as just remembering your tip money that you put aside. So just keep that in mind. Don't let it stress you. It's not the end of the world, and you can always tip them the next day. Something else that I did notice during my wedding reception was that people were moving their seats around, and it wasn't a huge deal. It didn't bother me too much. It is one of those things that there is etiquette there is wedding etiquette that you should just follow as a guest, because people do work really hard on everything that goes into weddings. We work hard on the seat planning, the charts. Everything is done for a reason. And so just be mindful. It worked out for my wedding because some of the guests did not show up. And so people were able to move around a little more freely. But just keep that in mind, because for instance, my tables were set up in a way that they can only fit up to 12 people. Thankfully, I did not sit 12 people at a table. So it did work out by people moving to a table of like 9 and making it 10, because it could comfortably seat 12. But let's say I did have 12 people at a table and you decided to add a 13th chair, you would make that table very uncomfortable. Because of the fact that it should only comfortably seat 12. So just keep that in mind. If you're going to do things like that, know that I worked with the venue and the wedding coordinator to make sure that people are comfortable. And so if you are deciding the day of that you don't want to sit where you were placed, and you decide to move to a different table, then just know that you could be causing some tension among the guests alone if you're making other people uncomfortable in terms of space. Um, that being said, I did not have seat placement cards, so I sat people at a particular table, but they had freedom to seat themselves anywhere at that table. You did not have to sit in a particular order or a particular place at the table. I just wanted certain people at certain tables. And this was based off of making sure that all my guests felt comfortable and had enough space, and also based off relationships. So keep that in mind as a guest if you're going to a wedding, that there is etiquette and it could bother people, not just the two people who planned out the seating chart and put a lot of work into it, but also the venue staff that actually put in the work to organize the tables in a certain way and doing everything. You're just kind of rubbing people the wrong way, and it may not be the bride and the groom. It could just be anyone, because when it comes to seating, there's a lot of things that go into it. Like I said, staff have to put in the work to actually organize the table a certain way. And then the guests, be considerate of the fact that if there's no space, do not just move your seat. Just be mindful is all I'm going to say. And for the brides to be out there, just keep that in mind, that could happen. You might notice someone is sitting where you did not place them. Let it be, move on. It's not a huge deal. Unless it's becoming a huge deal, that's not even your problem. The wedding team can help you take care of it unless you have to be involved. But realistically, it worked out for me. I didn't need to say anything. It wasn't a huge deal. It was just something that was kind of like, oh, people doing what they want to do as usual. Something else that my brides-to-be should be aware of is that there is going to be a possibility that someone wears black to your wedding. That did happen to me. Someone did wear black to my wedding and try to ruin our day. Don't let it. It's not a huge deal. Really ignore that person, and just, it doesn't matter. If you wanted to bring negativity to a space that's supposed to be about positivity, as someone who is close to the bride and groom, then that just shows who you are as a person. And that should not be something that should be addressed on your wedding day. It's not a huge deal. Move on. Let them be negative. Let them sit in their negativity, and you enjoy your day. It's about you. And I think realistically, it just makes that person look bad, which it did, because I had a lot of wedding guests saying like, who is that? Why is that person doing like, and a lot of my guests knew who the person was in relations to me and my husband. So it looked bad on them. Realistically, my family members were confused about it. Their family members were confused about it. I had a lot of feedback and whisperings come to me after the matter. So realistically, it's not a good look. Let them be. Let them wallow in their misery, and you enjoy your day. Something that I noticed in hindsight that I forgot to do because I was so wrapped up in my day was my maid of honor and best friend did give me a memory pendant of my dad that I was supposed to put on my bouquet, and I completely forgot. But it wasn't something that obviously could ruin my day. It was just something that I wish I did have my dad walking down the aisle with me. And looking back in hindsight, I missed it, but at least I still have it. And I really am going to treasure that gift forever. I put it up in a safe place. But just know that little things like that, you'll forget to put on something that you really wanted to put on your attire, or something very small. Like you might even forget, like, hey, I want to wear this bracelet. I might forget to do that. Don't let it bother you. At the end of the day, you still will look beautiful. It will still be a wonderful day. And that's the biggest takeaway. This day was the most perfect day for me. If you watch my wedding highlight, about this day, I had nothing but good things to say. I did not want to do this video so close because I didn't want to come off as like pessimistic, or that here are all the bad things that happened at my wedding. I just really wasn't going to share this video because I didn't even want to address any of the things that went wrong. But thinking about it, I kind of wished as a bride you saw a little bit more of that in terms of people sharing like some of their hiccups for those days and making you feel a little bit better about the small things. I feel like when you're stressed out the day of your wedding, the little things can mount up and become a big deal for you. And so, kind of hearing that, hey, here are all the things that went wrong throughout my day and the wedding planning process, but I still had a beautiful day, I think will really help someone just kind of realize, like, hey, things will happen. Just know that your day can only be ruined if you let it. You are in control of this day and how you feel about it. And make sure you have a team of people within your wedding party to help with that. My bridesmaids made sure that no matter what, I was going to have a wonderful day. They were not going to let me sulk or feel down about anything. Every time something happened, it was like, it's okay. Here's how we could fix that. What can I do? Or just, it's not a big deal. Let's move on. You look beautiful. This is going to be great. Like, just always hyping me up and making sure that I felt good about myself and today. And it really makes a difference. So just be mindful of the people that you have around you for this day, and you will just have nothing but great memories. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'm wishing all my brides to be a great wedding planning season.